Surfacing mammals get a lot of attention, but the true treasures of the ocean are found in the deep. Beautiful corals, dendritic accumulations, partnerships in the deep, the many varied and unimaginable creatures that populate the watery depths. Journey with me today as I take you on a brief tour of this wonderful little seen bit of our planet. Oceans cover 124% of the Earth's volume, and yet we've barely taken a sip of knowledge from this unending saline fountain. So let us dive down and explore its wonders. We'll meet creatures like the deep water cardinal fish, the appropriately named tonguefish, and warriors like the armored sea robin, nearly invincible in his suit of mail, out on patrol to spot invaders to his kingdom. The spikefish, the aptly named unicorn-like terror of the deep. The left-eyed flounder, its elusive cousin, the right-eyed flounder, yet to be seen by any person. Sea toad, the contemplative fish, and the monkfish, grappling with the teleological expression of divinity, at home in the infinite wonder of aqueous creation. The goosefish, the batfish, stealthy, ready for your call. The brotula, a purple pal, and the codling, the rat tail, objectively the most superior of all hairstyles. The beautiful grenadier with its blue pattern. The cusk eel, a marine bony fish. It tends to live at the bottom in temperate and tropical oceans. This example seen nearly 4,000 feet down. The cutthroat eel, a true eel, also a deep-dwelling bottom fish. The halosaur, sea lizard, a dweller of the benthic zone, the term for the ecological region at the lowest part of a body of water. The enigmatic banana snake. The Oreo cookie. Midwater scorpionfish, and the roughy, who you don't want to meet in a back alley. The deadly viperfish, the useful tripod fish, and the beautiful purple nugget, the pearl fish, the velvet whale fish, a red marvel, chimera, a stunning mythological beast, the deep water ray. What is in there? Some questions are best not answered. Snails and anemones, diataster insignia, the deep-sea mudstar, covering ground 10,000 feet down off the West Florida escarpment. This dandelion siphonophore is actually a group of individuals, all working together to survive the depths. Its tentacles keep it moored to the rocks. Many creatures find mutual benefit from their association. In a harsh, unforgiving world, symbiosis can be a powerful tool for survival. Coral provides a home for many types of organisms. Two different creatures take up residence here, a large squat lobster and a feather star. Certain types of sea creatures seem to have a specific affinity for particular species of coral. How exactly this pairing happens is still under study. Glass sponges, flytrap anemone on a dead animal stalk. And then a scale worm living on the anemone. This brittle star, tightly coiled around coral, is only found on that coral. Yet observations of the coral have never not seen a brittle star on them. A very tight relationship. We are still learning about it. A squat lobster interacting here, surprisingly not the only occupant. All these diverse coral species can promote a similar diversity in their related occupants, like trees in a forest supporting many different species, offering a place for food and shelter. Why don't you take a load off, friend? And here in the Azores, more beautiful corals, a bountiful garden. This particular expanse has a truly large and diverse population of coral for the Atlantic. These animals are dependent on nutrients filtering down through the water column, providing life-giving sustenance to these creatures. Here, 5,000 feet down, a colorful melange of tones, yellow, red, pink, purple, orange, and again we see species intermingled with the coral. But it's not all a walk in the park. Here an anemone grabs an unsuspecting fish for lunch. In the deeps, we are continually reminded of the circle of life, the wheel ever spinning, an engine of creation and destruction, murderers at work. Here a swarm of cutthroat eels feast on bait, nearly 2 miles down atop an abyssal seamount. Now we switch over to look at the very beginnings of life. A baby cat shark still in its egg sac. These sharks are oviparous. They lay eggs outside the body and then leave them to survive on their own. The baby shark feeds on the yolk sac until it is ready to break free and make its way in the watery world. Here a group of sharks, genies, dogfish, and a couple rough-skinned dogfish engage in a feeding frenzy. They've struck gold with this 8-foot-long swordfish carcass. The flesh is not cooked, but minerals in the water do alter the flesh, so they are technically eating ceviche, or as we oceanographers like to call it, ceviche. And in a surprise finale, a wreckfish takes advantage and chomps on one of the sharks. There's always a bigger fish. We go now 2,500 feet down off the Atlantic coast between the Alvin and Nantucket canyons. A special sighting, a Greenland shark. This species has the longest known lifespan of any vertebrate and can live to be hundreds of years old enough to have heard Shakespeare in the original Klingon. Slow to hit puberty, they don't reach sexual maturity until 150 years of age, and their young gestate for 8 to 18 years. Weathered and wise, they roam the depths, truly wondrous fish. Sharks can be elusive creatures. Here the prickly shark and the six-gill shark. This swordfish flips the script compared to his shark food companion, here catching a meal for himself at a depth of 1,500 feet. The sea is filled with a bounty of foods. This jack-o'-lantern, a pumpkin of the sea, is a comb jelly. Its setines, which help propel it through the water, reflect the DSV's light. And here the headless chicken monster. A most strange creature bounding up off the sandy bottom. Its shape looks exactly like the chicken you might get at the grocery store, ready for some butter and salt and a good roast in the oven. A chicken of the sea, and I'm not talking tuna. No, not tuna, rather halibut. The flatfish seen here on the bottom. An Atlantic halibut with a squid sliding past. These flatfish have their eyes on the side of their head, perfect for keeping a lookout while dwelling on the ocean floor. Halibut can weigh more than 400 pounds. They eat a broad diet, consuming almost any animal or fish they can get a hold of. And to accompany the meal, how about seabed potatoes? These sponges are found on the Blake Spur, more than 10,000 feet deep. And to clean up, some undersea scouring baths. Now we dive into the deep depths, seeking hydrothermal vents. The active black smoker here provides warmth, and bacteria provide a food source, allowing for a set of creatures to survive here in the otherwise frigid and lightless ocean. These creatures are adapted to this harsh environment, able to survive under high pressure like a top athlete. Cold seawater filters down into the crust and is heated by magma below the crust, the super hot water eventually re-emerging through these vents. Seawater inside the vent can reach 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Interestingly, though, it does not boil due to the immense pressure at this depth. Black smokers are the hottest, filled with sulfur, and they form tall chimneys. White smokers are cooler and eject different minerals, tending to form smaller chimneys. Bacteria convert these minerals into energy through chemosynthesis. No photosynthesis can occur so deep, so far from the reach of the sun. A fascinating study in life at the extremes in the Marianas. Switching oceans, we visit the Moitira hydrothermal vent field. Chimney-like structures allow geothermally heated water to enter the ocean through fissures in the rock. The chemicals emitted from the vents provide a basis of life for smaller organisms. Small limpets and shrimp carve out a home for themselves around the vent here off the Azores. Checking temperature measurements to understand the ecosystem better. The highest recorded temperature we saw was 50 degrees Celsius. The geologic and tectonic activity of the Earth's crust can also lead to underwater volcano eruptions. Tourists run screaming from the flows of lava. A reminder that nature's wrath cannot be overcome. We can only appease it through sacrifice. These fearless crabs are adapted to living in the sulfur-rich ground of the Daikoku seamount, as are these many flatfishes and tube worms. Lest we stare too hard into the violent nightmare of Earth's ever-changing crust, let us comfort ourselves with some wonderful views of this large isopod, a charismatic cousin of the woodlouse. They scavenge the seabed for food. Most isopods are tiny, but here in the deep they can grow to giant size. Down here, though, we are reminded that the abyss was real. Beings from other worlds live in our oceans. Species so unique and so highly adapted to their environment that they are nearly impossible to imagine or even comprehend upon seeing them. Siphonophores, their name from the Greek for tube and bearing, are actually colonies of individuals. The arrowworm, ctenophore, a comb jelly. Pelagic holothurian, a type of sea cucumber one might mistake for a jellyfish. This jellyfish was found more than 2 miles down. It is believed that floating open like this is an ambush mode to capture prey. Note the different sizes of tentacles on the creature. The cold waters of the Arctic hold a fascinating diversity of jellyfish and ctenophores. The Atolla of Rock'n'Rolla, the glow leech barrow, the Bolenopsis, ethereal and elusive, Euplocamus, a Dryadora meeting its demise in the cruel clutch of an amphipod, Nectodamus, Pichogena, Aulacoctonidae, Botronema eleanori, Botronema brucei, Bathychorus, cobweb-like Chrysaora, feather-like Maris, and Crosata. And not to be left out, the red shiitake jellyfish. Wondrous creatures each and all, but perhaps let us turn our attention to unjellied fishes. The deep water lizardfish, a whitefish, found 7,700 feet down in the Trinidad slump. Distinguished from the lizardfish, a different species that lives at shallower depths, the Bathysaurus lives in deep waters. It is the deepest living apex predator, and interestingly is a hermaphrodite, possessing both male and female sex organs. The Oreo, unafraid to take a look from a different perspective. Perhaps a trait that comes from living so long. They are one of the longest living vertebrates, reaching up to 200 years in age. The sunfish, largest of all bony fishes, able to reach more than 1 ton in weight. So named because of the tendency to lay flat on the surface and catch some rays from the sun. A most unusual head with fins, proving that not only are all shapes possible, they can be desirable. Schaefer's anglerfish. It has an elephant-like foot similar to the one at Chernobyl. It is the most radioactive of all fish. A few minutes' proximity can be lethal, but tempting nevertheless, given how handsome this fella is. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. This ocean relative of the fiddlehead fern is blessed with a bounty of tentacles. A basket star, rarely seen unfurled. And speaking of tentacles, let's spend some time with the class of Cephalopoda. This beautiful purple octopus gives us a glimpse into the beginnings of life, seen here with a clutch of eggs minding her nest. Granulodone boropacifica holds the record for longest time spent brooding eggs. One was observed doing so for 53 months. Longer than the lifespan of most other octopi. She never leaves her eggs unattended. And here an adolescent makes his first forays away from home. Just be back by curfew. The aptly named Dumbo octopus swims along, uniquely using his ear flaps rather than a jet for propulsion. This unusual sighting shows the squid in what is likely a defensive posture. Some of its tentacles are missing, suggesting it has experienced some trauma. Its posture made identification difficult. The flapjack octopus. Its skin shows a series of lighter dots on the surface, though for what purpose we do not know. They potentially are used to gather more light, aiding in its vision underwater, helping it detect shadows. Deep down in the depths are some very unique squid, such as this big fin squid, long and spindly, or the glass squid. Ever mindful, always watching you. These cranchids have a cavity containing an ammonia solution to aid in their buoyancy. The red organ is its digestive gland. Below each eye are light-producing organs. These help disguise its shadow from prey down below. And in those depths hides one of the most elusive of all creatures, almost never sighted, the giant squid. Here we catch only a glimpse as it cautiously checks for food before retreating into the darkness, as we must now do. Until next time, good night.